Hello, my beautiful sunshines. It's Marta here. Welcome on another day of our Butterfly Craft Fest. I am having this lovely collaboration together with my friends, two Monikas and Katarina and Denise. And Monika, crafting with Quilling Lady, who is the host of this collaboration, prepared these beautiful printable butterflies, which you can get for free if you will watch all the series and you will comment under all of our videos, then you can get in touch with Monika and she will send you the file with this lovely butterfly. The prompt for today video is a box, and I'm gonna be creating my beautiful gift box with these butterflies from Monika. So I'm starting from cutting myself one piece of the paper. This is just a regular watercolor cardstock I am working with, but you can have any type of the paper you like. It doesn't even have to be white. You can make it in whatever you like, as long as it's a little bit more stiff one. I'm using 250 GSM, so this is nice sturdy cardstock. I'm cutting first piece, which is 7 by 8-inch size, and then I am following it with four another paper pieces, which are 4.5 by 8. Now I am placing all of these four elements on my scoring board, and I am scoring it every inch until I have this last like half an inch flap. So there's 4-inch pieces, and then the last one small one flap. And I'm doing exactly the same step on every single one of these elements. This box is super easy, and what I love about this is that anyone can do it. You don't really need any like a bigger 12 by 12 paper. I don't even think that the 12 by 12 would be enough actually. So you can create your own boxes. Now after scoring each one of them by 1 inch, I am taking two pieces and I am scoring it half an inch on both ends, just on two pieces. You can see here, and they have those like additional side flaps, and then the remaining two pieces, this is very important, so they're not all the same shape. The remaining one I am placing back on my scoring board, the flap facing down, this little one, and then on the second strip from the top I am making two 1-inch score line, you can see here, and then we will be creating space for cutting those extra like notches on the side. So this will help us to put our box together. So two pieces, they have a half an inch strip on the side, and then the other one they have 1-inch fold line on the second strip from the top. Once I will cut out all these extra like bits out, you will see the shape, the final shape of these elements, and I hope it makes it way easier for you to see what we are creating. So the first two elements with this little side flaps, I am chopping three bits from the top, and then the fourth one I am leaving the little extra flap plus this narrow strip on the bottom. I am just slightly trimming it under the angle, and I'm repeating the exactly the same step with the other one. So on the sides, the first three areas I am chopping them off. The last one before the flap, I'm making two little flaps on the side, and then the bottom half-inch strip I am just trimming under the angle. It's super easy, anyone can do it, and you can actually change the size. It doesn't have to be 1 inch. If you will make it smaller, like half an inch, your frame will be just a little bit narrower, so you can actually decide the thickness of your frame by changing the sizes in between the layers you have. But if you decide to create the half an inch strips, like instead of a 1 inch, then this little extra side like trapeze I am cutting out, it has to be matching the width of your strips. So here I have this like a 1 inch square. And if you will make the narrow bits, you just have to adjust this element. So that's one thing to remember if you will be just making your own sizes, not particularly like 1 inch I'm doing here. And again, this little extra flaps on the bottom, I am just cutting them under the angle. So here is the 4 elements plus my base I'm needing. And once I have all of them prepared, now I can reinforce all these scoring lines which I've created. I'm only doing it on those long one, the little one to those tiny flaps on the 2 elements. I'm not scoring them. I'm just letting them stay as they are. And once I finish scoring all the lines, and this is very important, make sure you actually press firmly. The better you work your scoring line, the easier it will be to assemble your elements. Once I have them done, I am starting from those which they have those teeny tiny extra flaps on the sides, and I am covering this long 1/2 inch strip with the glue, making sure that I'm adding adhesive right till the edge, and then I am placing it on my card base. On the front side of my card base, I'm actually putting it from the back side here, just so I could kind of easily adjust the scoring lines so they will be just matching up. And again, once I finish one side, I am adding adhesive and I am concentrating. After I add the glue, I always like to smear it with my finger, and I'm making sure that the adhesive is added right up to the scoring line. And then again, I am turning my base upside down and I'm just marrying up those scoring lines together. And once I'm happy with the placement, I am pressing firmly, making sure that the adhesive will grip. Once I have the sides done, now I can add my pieces on the top and the bottom of this card base. And again, this is super easy. We just keep repeating the same step. I'm adding the glue to this little flap. I am turning it upside down, making sure that the scoring lines are matching up. And after I am happy with the placement, I am pressing very firmly using my bone folder. This will make sure that the adhesive will grip nicely, and the whole glue will just smear out in between the paper layers, so it's less warping for the paper. And I like to work with the watercolor paper for this type of the project because firstly, the watercolor paper has this beautiful texture which I really love, and secondly, it's nice sturdy cardstock. If I work with the liquid adhesive, the watercolor paper always stays smooth. I never had any trouble with the paper warping up because the watercolor paper is working beautifully with the moisture, so it's perfect for putting your projects together with the liquid adhesive. But you can work on any type of the paper you have. Once I have all the 4 pieces connected to my card base, I am starting from adding the glue to those last 1 inch strips from these 2 pieces which have those angles cut on them. And I'm adding the glue. I am folding it flat actually to adhere it nicely, and then I'm using my bone folder just to press it very firmly. And again, I like to smear my glue, make sure it's touching all way down to the scoring line. And once I'm adding my pieces, I am just pressing firmly, and you can see very easily how we will put this shadow box together. And what I love about this project is that it doesn't limit me to the size. Before, when I was trying to create the shadow box using one side paper, like 12 by 12 inch, I was always limited. So whenever I've created those 1 inch thick frames, I always end up with this small square on the inside. I think it was like 4 by 4 inch. And for this project, I wanted to have something larger. So this is why I am assembling it from scraps, like separate pieces. But I think this is such a beautiful like projects you can use to create those like big, large shadow boxes, whatever you need. And then you can place up some photos, some lovely elements, whatever you would like for your card box to be. So here, once I fold this piece on the other side, I am adding a teeny tiny bit of the glue to underneath those angle cuts. This is super easy to do. All you need is just add a dash of the glue on the thin strip of the paper, which you can see here I am keeping on the side. And to make the job easier, I am actually trimming these last flaps just so it will be easier for me to tackle them underneath this other two elements I've already have assembled. So here I am rolling back this strips and then I am tackling into those little like angle cuts which I've created, and my shadow box is coming beautifully. And because I kept those teeny flaps on the side of those two elements which we're creating, all the four sides are nicely attached to each other and there's no gaps. So this is what I love to do. These tiny tabs are just making the huge difference because they are connecting these elements. And then again, a tiny dash of the glue on this like a angle cuts, and my frame is assembled. It's looking beautifully nice, professional. Now my favorite part of this project is to choosing these beautiful butterflies created by my friend Monika. As I've mentioned, she has this free file for everyone. All you gotta do is just you have to watch our Butterfly Craft Fest series and then comment underneath our videos, and then if you get in touch with Monika, she will be able to forward you the file. Here I am fussy cutting these butterflies and it doesn't really take much time and it's all pleasure. These are such a beautiful elements that it took me no time to fussy cut them. Apart from the butterflies, I also cut myself this long sentiment which says special birthday, and I have this number 50, and I used the black color as underneath shadow because I thought it would be nice, kind of like a focal point for my creation. And I love this white like this black and gold combination which is striking out from the white background. And to attach my elements, because they are very intricate, I am adding a tiny bit of the glue to the back side of my hand, and then I'm just tapping my elements on top of it. That way I don't have to fiddle with the glue. I don't have the trouble of the glue oozing out, because each time I am getting the perfect amount of the adhesive right under those intricate die cut pieces. So it's super easy, fast to do, and I highly recommend you to do that. It's so much faster and also cheaper than using those double-sided adhesive sheets, which then you have to attach your elements, fussy cut twice, and once you're cutting through those adhesive sheets, they're not always cutting perfectly as well. So I highly recommend you to use the liquid glue for adding all the intricate elements. Here I am kind of trying to see how would I like to have my butterfly place. This is gonna be this kind of like a display box for someone who is like having this botanical interest, like collecting butterflies, and I thought this will be a nice idea to turn such a collecting box into like a special birthday card. But of course, inside the shadow box, you can actually place whatever you like. So here, I'm sorry if my head is getting in a way, but it's hard to see from inside the shadow box, so I just really need to bend a little bit more just so I could attach my butterflies in a nice straight way. And I'm using the hot glue. I am placing a tip of the glue on the butterfly body, and then I'm using my either like a little pencil or this like a bone folder just to place them on top. I slightly curve the butterfly wings so they will be more alive, and I really love how they all looking like against this white board they are displayed on. After all my butterflies are attached, I am adding the liquid adhesive to attach my number 50. And again, you can place the name, you can place the photo, whatever you like. All the other ideas, like you can, start from here and then, implement it to your own needs and ideas, whatever you'd like. But I think this is such a nice project to memorize some special moments, and especially with Monika's beautiful butterfly, this is such a lovely project. I'm super happy that I've created. Here I'm adding the liquid adhesive on this special birthday sentiment, and I'm slightly curving it up. I'm arching it. I don't have to back it with anything because this will be protected with the thick borders from my shadow box. But if you place the arch sentiment on the cards itself, it's good idea to back them up in the center so they're that's prevent them from collapsing. I slightly repositioned two butterflies on the bottom because I thought they are way too low, and my box is ready. I'm gonna be attaching little like a piece of the ribbon on the back side. This will serve as a hook, so whoever would receive it, they can actually hang it on the wall. But you can also create this like a little stopper for this to be standing, depending on what you like to do. I'm adding a piece of the black ribbon because I think it's just matching nicely with the sentiment, and then I'm adding two additional circles just to cover up this joining place. Here is the back side where you can add your like a wishes, and this is how my box is presenting. I hope you enjoyed this idea. Make sure to check the description area for all the other videos from this collaboration, and I hope to see you shortly. Have a wonderful day everyone, and bye bye.